Warning, we're just having fun. If you take stuff too serious, this channel may not be for you, buddy. Man, oh man, I ain't even got my damn glasses on and I already see a problem here. There went the gentleman who nicknamed me Puddin. Problem is, when I parked this thing in here, it was up in the air, and as you see, it's all the way down. Thus, leading me to believe we do have a air leak, probably on the tank side, because when you lose back pressure, your valves don't stay. Anyhow, we got an air leak. Now, speaking of this rig, last week, guys, we actually drove this thing. We plumbed up all of our air ride, all that craziness up in there you kind of see. We tried to spin some tires, as you can tell right there. We got a little miniature garden coming in the back. Got our drive shaft in, got some exhaust built. Got it sounding like a tractor is what we got. Nonetheless, we got to finally drive this thing. And this week, well, we still got quite a bit we can button up, as you see here. So it needs breather. Not totally happy with that exhaust. I have yet to tune on the damn thing. We may want to slap a timing light on her. And the interior still needs a little attention. Now, speaking of the interior, how downright rude of me last week. Top Stitch came and slapped us a headliner in here. I got so damn busy, I forgot to show the damn thing. Looky there. Kind of slapped that on, that way she could set up with their glue there. But that thing looks pretty bitchin'. We got to kind of figure out this dash, though, what we're going to do there exactly. And before we start tuning on this, we got something to figure out up here, too. We need to figure out some breathers or hoses or something. Hell, I could use a breather. Let's just say when it rains, it pours. Now, obviously, you can see it ain't raining out, okay? What I'm talking about is sometimes shit happens. And I mean quite literally, shit happens. That's my sewer clogged and collapsed. Yeah, that sewer runs all the way to my back fence line that I'm responsible for, by the way. You know, it's not quite as fun as a sewer's collapsing. How about water heaters? Hell, we'll repair them too around here. We ain't scared. Mama didn't raise no punk. Add 3 kids and all the school activities and roll them back into school. And then we do have a very special loved one who could use some prayers right now. If you're into that kind of thing that we've been spending time with. Life's crazy. And I don't tell you this, hoping for pity or anything like that. I just tell you that because life happens around here too, guys, and I like being transparent with y'all. Transparency is key in a relationship. And we got something good going right here. It's going real good. Our order fulfillment's a little behind. It ain't been going as good as we usually do. So please just be patient with us. He'll be patient with my English. And if you guys do want to support, you just head over to that www.puddinsfabshop.com. Boy, if that old arm is swinging, them damn deals were slinging. And as always, guys, we appreciate the support there. We appreciate your patience. We appreciate the prayers. And we are going to roll into, we're going to start with some fabricating. We're going to start with trying to get this connected to something. That's our blow-by fogging machine tube. Now from the factory, that thing would go up here on all of our small EGR type stuff. Ours is obviously missing. It had this little block-off plate on there. Luckily our hose is still in good shape. It does kind of reduce in size there. When you get that hose on there, she kind of ends up right where we need. So I think we can make us a new block-off plate, but we need a 90 on it. I don't have any aluminum stuff to even try to mess with this. Long story short, we're just gonna cut one out of steel because it's what I got. Now also, this baby may be pretty, okay, but it's only about an 1/8 inch, and that's not necessarily thick enough for a block-off plate, in my unprofessional opinion. I'm thinking something more 1/4 inch-ish. Yeah, we may be able to use that 2-inch wide strap right there. Let's see if she fits. Does she? Oh, just perfect. Our old one here will make one hell of a pattern. So mark her out. Pertin here looks like E.T. with a surprise face. E.T. better phone that ass home or grab a drill because we got work to do around here. We're gonna rough cut her with the slicing dice. Just take a couple bites about like so. Then you can clean her up with the flap attack. Not too shabby there. You know that old 80 grit don't quit? Pinch her down a little better and go ahead and drill her holes. Just nice and steady here. She's metric, so she probably won't fit. Oh! Damn near perfect. Couple little whirly twirlies for a little forgiveness. Slice out her other side real quick. She's pretty damn close to our little one here. Of course, it ain't gonna be perfect, but we ain't done yet. Get us a couple bolts started where we can figure out where our threading needs to go. For a fitting, I think we'll just throw this bushing in there because we'll get 3/8 NPT threads. So we can drill a hole, drop that in, weld it up, and then we can figure out our elbow assembly. But speaking of elbow assembly, if we kind of knew what we were going to put in there, that's going to help us ballpark a little better here. I do have that fitting. That is a 3/8 to 1/2 inch barb. But we can kind of make something like that right there work. So we're just going to eagle eye it here. And I'm going to guesstimate just above our offset bolt hole there, right in that area. Slap her back in the Wilton, and we got to drill a big old hole. Little looby dooby's better than nothing. Woo! Take her for a hot ride on the Christmas tree. Give her the old carbide and she'll plop right in. Let's take this to the wire wheel and then we'll take them both over to the old Tiggy. Tried to use this the other day and I couldn't keep her tungsten out of her metal, so let's see how today goes. There's a competition for ugly TIG welds. I'd whip that ass. Now luckily, this ain't gonna be pretty, so who cares? And I guarantee she's hot because I can't control my heat worth the diddly, but she is welded up. She ain't going nowhere. Get her cleaned up there. You really shouldn't weld on those bushings though. They're just not good. I hold my breath when I do it. Not that that really helps. Helps me build my lung power so when I go deep sea diving, I'm good. But anyhow, do as I say, not as I do. Get you an actual steel bung that ain't all coated in that baloney. Next, we're gonna cut these off the back because they can't hang out there. Knock her right off. Then we're gonna knock her flat. Just for a little more practice, I'm gonna go buzz that up. We really don't need to. Thought I was doing better that time, and of course right at the very end had to have a full blowout. Kind of like going to Taco Bell. Use our battery terminal brush here and kind of clean up our threads. And hopefully our threads are still good. She's threading in, so I think we are good. This thing is hot. H-A-H-T, hot. Pretty toasty. Got her cooled off. We're gonna install one of our painting plugs. I guess we're just gonna rattle can her black, guys. Hell, if I had some rattle can chrome, I'd hit her with chrome. Little gloss black will look all right. Especially if we get this baby polished. We'll spray her with a little bit of our Get Gone Degreaser by the Sweet Patina. That stuff is T-U-F-F. It's tough, guys. And if you want to get you some, just head on over to sweetpatina.com and use the old promo code on the screen. She definitely looks better. Next, we got to get our old gasket off there. This damn thing works so good. I got mine from old Mortsky at the Mortsky Repair, and highly recommend having that good old gasket scraper. That's one of them tools I wish I would have bought damn 15 years ago. Hit that with a quick little suck job. The one port, I seen some trash fall into it. Hell, better safe than sorry, guys. As our new plate dries, we're gonna look at our next little breather, and actually our breather. Now I told y'all I've never been a fan of them damn things. On top of that, I've seen a couple people saying they're restricting. Now I'm not saying by any means that a Mr. Gasket 9-incher is better. Whether it's better or not, we're gonna make that work on here. Now I don't know why I don't like these things, guys. I never have. Got a factory one from a Datsun and one from a Courier. I was thinking about making them work on here, but those damn things, if we do pick up any power, we're gonna lose it by weighing it down, because those things are like 45 pounds a piece. Y'all think I'm playing, but that little bastard right there is heavy. And this thing is clearly built for performance. Most people's Datsuns, once that air goes over the roof, it actually goes down, and when it hits the back tailgate, it really slows them down. They have this wind drag. When you put this big old box on there, as the air comes up here, boom, it's gonna roll on over the top. Basically, I'm saying this rig is streamlined. Just quick glance, I think we'll benefit by cutting that lip off and that lip off. So we'll pull that. Well, that's a beautiful cut job right there. It ain't gotta be perfect, but I am gonna get us a couple reference marks here. We're just gonna zip this thing with the MIG real quick. Just a couple tacks, one quick glance. I like it. Now this metal is pretty well paper thin. I am full welding that. Long story short, we warped the shit out of it. So I'm gonna just hammer on what I can here or there and try to straighten it back out a little bit. Just sitting kind of flat there anyhow. It's beautiful as she's looking. We ain't done yet. We got a filler piece right there to build. Got some 18 gauge right there we'll slap in there. Quick little slice and clean up, and she's ready to weld on. Guaranteed maximized warpage. Slightly warped again. So little love taps, you just straighten her out the best you can. Now listen, I know this thing's looking rough. I got this half straightened up. Kind of get that other half straightened up. And this looking like hell really don't matter. Because when you put that right there, and then you slap that in there, and then you set that old Chrome Jobber Deluxe right on top, well, you really can't see any of that base now, can you? Thankfully, no, you cannot. So now we need to look at what it's going to take to attach this. Some type of strip to come up and over. That way we can weld a nut to it. I think we're going to need something right at 6 inches long. So we'll just lay us out some 18 gauge here. Next, we're going to mark from each end, I think 1 3/8 is what I decided on. We're going to break that 90. Both sides. She didn't quite go 90, but that's all right. Let's see how we're doing here. I wanted to make sure we cleared our choke. We're good to go there. We can tack that on. Back and forth, back and forth. Boom, bam. With our lid in place, I need to mark that, so I'm gonna just put a drill bit down in there. You don't want to get too crazy there. You'll put shavings and stuff down in your carburetor. We're going to thread that in. And that sticks out just enough to get that wing nut started. I think this will work, guys. Now, does that look better? Debatable. Is it going to flow more? I think it should. Am I happy with it? As happy as I'm going to be, guys. Next, we want to figure out our hose for here because this does need a filter. We got a cut on breather already right there. That's what we're after. So we'll just rob that. And I'm going to see if I can't eagle eye this and get it added to our base plate. If our tubing was longer, we could have tapered that obviously and reached it back there, but that's all we got to work with. So we're going to enclose that with a little piece of sheet metal. Get her a couple love taps. Quick little cleanup on both sides, and guys, that'll weld. We are going to tack her in place before we full commit and weld it. And our old crusty hose did split, but I think with a good hose, it would work. Got this little piece of gasket material here. Of course, we're going to get her cut out. Knock her holes out. Want them snug. And right there, we got our new beefy block-off plate. Gonna thread her about right there. Of course, that fits snug over there, but that's a little loose. But I kind of got an idea here. I don't know this is going to work, but I got some 1/2-inch little caps here. I'm thinking maybe we can use that like a slip bushing in there. What if we slide that on there, And then that on there, that's actually pretty snug. Of course, we gotta cut that end off there. Slide her on, slide her on. Oh yeah, I think with a little clamp we'll be all right. Stole our little spring clamp from our old ripped hose for the valve cover. Pop her top on and hit her with a quick little polish job. That's a perfect polish job. I should have never had anything polished because I'm not the type to maintain polished crap, guys, so it's definitely gonna get dirty. But hey, I'm pretty happy with how that thing looks, especially considering we actually got our stuff hooked up. Now, if you don't want to do that, I think you can run this over to a catch can. Like I said, we could have popped a little filter right there and been good, but I like how that looks. Kind of like stuff to look factory-ish. So with that done, I actually kind of want to tune on this thing, but before we tune on it, I actually want to get this thing at top dead center. I'm going to pull number 1 spark plug, and I'm just going to verify our mark down on our little pulley or whatever. I'm going to pull our coil wire, that way she won't bust off. I'm going to hook up our cheater switch where we can bump her over. I'm going to put my finger in number 1. You hear that compression stroke? I can see our piston in there coming up, and I can see the notch on our pulley. I'm rotating it by hand, and because I can see that piston in there, you can see when it comes up, and then when it hits top dead center, it kind of floats for a split second, then you'll see it start going back down. I'm gonna adjust her by hand until she's at that floating spot. About right in there. And I know it's impossible for y'all to see down in there, but our timing mark's right there. There's 0, and it's dead nuts lined up with our notch. That's a good thing, exactly what you want to see. You always want to verify your top dead center before you put a timing light on it. If yours don't have a mark, there's a couple different ways you can mark it. I'm sure there's a YouTube video on it. Now that we know our notch is good, we can do our timing. Pop our plug back in, the old cheater switch out the way, and we're damn near ready to fire it off. I forgot, we got to swap out our damn water temperature gauge because it's a piece of crap. So I got us another one here. These things, half the time out the package, they're bad. It has nothing to do with them folding the little thermocouple 1,000 times, okay? It never causes them to go bad. Just gonna swap her out right here. Get our coil wire back on real quick. And let's see if this baby wants to bust off. Not bad for not running for a few days. And not bad for only being on 3 cylinders. Man, I forgot to put that number 1 plug wire back on. Not quite brave enough to do that with it running. Y'all know that song, She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy? This thing sounds just like a damn tractor, y'all. Kill that. I got us a Harbor Freight special timing light. 12 degrees it is. We're gonna set this baby to 12 degrees. When we aim it down there, that notch will still aim right at 0, but it's putting the 12 degrees for you. Pull the hose for our vacuum advance, and we're gonna cap that on our carburetor. And we're gonna loosen off our bolt here. Bright Exxon timing light, my ass, guys. You can barely see deadly with that thing. I'm having a real hard time seeing the mark. So 1, I'm gonna try to color in that notch just a hair. And then 2, what I think I'm seeing, this thing is maxed, and I need to go a little more right where we're getting close. Tip number 2 is much better. It is marked down there now though, and the slot limits how much we can adjust this. So we need to be able to go a little more. It's always best to do this when it's nice and hot. Let's check it again. We can't clamp that down because we're over our bolt hole. You can pop this thing out of here, and that splines onto that shaft, and it's only gonna go on there one way. Looks like we may have more adjustability right there. How many of these engines you think I've timed, huh? 12, 8, 21, 0. This is the first little Datsun engine I've ever had to really do the timing on. Now how many should I have timed? Probably everyone we ever got running. Right there should be close. Now we can slide that base plate about like so. Okay, we're dead nuts at 12 degrees. Guys, I bumped this thing and it had me kind of chasing my tail. Make sure you don't bump that. Next, I'm gonna hook up our vacuum advance. You hear that? She sounds a lot better, don't she? She don't sound like a damned old farm mole anymore. It's definitely sounding better and running better. Let's see if we can get a hold of this carburetor at all. Take her in a hair. Definitely idled her up some. Running rough right there. Boy, you damn right. You had them 4 cylinders of being plumb pissed off on top of these great aerodynamics and line up. Whoever wants that ass whipped, just line up. Looks like we got another winner of a gauge. This one likes to stay apparently about $1.60. We'll get a third one on order. Maybe the third one's a charm. Bet it'll crank easier if we put that wire back on the starter. She busted off good. Man, it's running good, guys. Timing's gotta be damn near money. I was gonna mess with our pedals and stuff, but I think we've got a glass guy coming to get some glass in this rig, and it would be a hell of a lot easier to put the dash in it with glass not in this rig. So I think our best bet is to mess with that dash today. And as you can see, she is in a beautiful, beautiful shape. She has some pretty big cracks on her. Now there is some filler, and basically we're kind of trying to dress up this hind end just a little bit. That's because I bought one of these slip covers for this thing, and it actually fits and looks decent. It don't quite always cover up everything. I'm not quite convinced that's gonna stay back and cover all that. So here's my feelings about this dash. I've never liked the Datsun dashes, guys, just not a fan of them. I don't really want to do a dash swap right now. I'm kind of burnt out on drawing out this project. I think the thing to do is to get this one looking half-ass decent anyhow, and then say a year down the road or so, if we want to swap in a cool dash, maybe we'll swap one in. And for now, we're just going to do what we got to do to make this one look better anyhow, which means we're going to start with a little sanding. Actually, we're going to start with pulling off these vents where I can lay this thing on its back. I'm bringing sexy back. Can't even talk about a Datsun dash and use sexy in the same sentence. This dash is the furthest thing from sexy. We're gonna pull them too, because we're not gonna have the EGR light or the fastened seat belts anymore. Whoop! That thing's only good for taking up space in our parts box. And we're gonna pull these off. Don't even know what the heck they're for, but I guarantee you, we no longer need them. This switch we need for our dash lights, and this we need. A bulb goes in this side, and then them two holes right there, you put your fiber optics in for your switches here. Damn Datsun using fiber optics back in the day. That's fancy. Try to knock down all of our high spots just to see how well this thing will fit. It fits really good, except for where it doesn't, like right down here. What do, you know? I don't know. We just try it, guys. That's all we can do. Get some of our dust off. Now right here and here, that cover don't even cover. That's right, it's the cover that doesn't cover. We're gonna have to fill that with some body filler. Just kind of blend it the best we can. Put that there real quick first. Not convinced it's gonna go in. That's good. So once you put that on, that's just trapped. It is what it is. We may not quite make it a year before we want to dash swap this thing. Guess we'll pull our little resistor here. I'll spray her down with some of our So Fresh and Clean all-purpose cleaner. We're going to clean her with our little detail brush set I got off the Amazon. And at this point, she's practically looking brand new. Can you Scotch-Brite a vinyl dash? Find out today! Exclusively on the Puddin's Fabrication Shop. It'll help or it won't. Taking out some of our foam where that body filler has somewhere to sit. See what kind of trouble we can get into right here. Told you I'm not a carburetor guy. I ain't a sheet metal guy. I damn sure ain't no body filler guy, okay? Be sure to put too much hardener in there where she sits up in about 30 seconds. That'll also help it crack out in the future. Yeah, about 45 seconds, that's all we got. Kind of scrape our inside there, do a little cleanup. So as that sets up, our metal back here, we need to clean it up pretty decent because we're going to paint it too. Which means I get more practice with my little roll lock here. Practice makes perfect, they say. G-U-D, she's good enough. Unfortunately, we got a big old hole in our dash here to fix. See if we can't get her squared away here. Survey says close enough. We're just gonna set her there. We're gonna tack her up. Went ahead and welded up her 2 holes. I tried in no way to shape that, so it's gonna have some filler. And that's why I'm not a sheet metal guy. The guys that I call sheet metal guys would have probably still kind of shaped that, probably TIG welded it in, then they'd kind of hammer and dolly and get it all true. We're gonna zip, zip, zip with a zap, 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 grind it, smear it with some body filler, and call it a damn day. Sheet metal guys don't do that kind of stuff, and if they do, they're not really sheet metal guys. Not what I consider a sheet metal guy anyhow. I'm just a damned old hack job fabricator. Yeah, we'll take it. If I can be totally honest, kind of at this point, I'm wishing I would have just sourced us a dash months ago. We probably could have spent a day fitting it up and making brackets and stuff work, and then maybe a day finishing it out. But that's all right though. We're gonna let that set up. Go grab us a little snacky snack. Got a little rumbly in my tumbly. Ain't had me no lunch yet. She's got a little umph on her. She's turboed. We're gonna take her from 80 grit down to 220. Just using the 220 on this, and we're gonna just, well, that's about to be a SOB. That roll lock worked kind of good for cutting that shape into there. It half blends anyhow. That underneath some paint's gonna half disappear opposed to big old cracks, so I'm gonna try to knock that edge down just a hair. That kind of popped that edge loose, but you know what? We're gonna take it, guys. Hell, maybe I'll get you looking at me. We're gonna get the dust off of it, wipe her down. We're gonna hit her with some primer. We're gonna use this TranStar primer. It's real good stuff, guys. This stuff has no business being this damn good out of a rattle can, I promise you that. Y'all know I'm not a paint body guy, but you do know I'm a rattle can guy. And as a rattle can connoisseur, if you want something pretty nice, that's your stuff right there. I wish this was a paid sponsorship, but it's not. I just really like it. This stuff sprays good, it lays down good, it sands good, it's just good. This stuff probably has no business being on vinyl, but it does stick to body filler, and we have a little body filler right here. So technically, as long as it bites good to those two areas, it should stay on the rest of the dash. It lays down well on it anyhow. I definitely forgot to tape off the vents, so she's good. We're gonna blow it off. Then like little Boosie once said, wipe me down. We're gonna get her wiped down. Get her properly prepped in the paint booth. Guys, the heat keeps killing my camera. Had to let that baby cool off. I scuffed all that with Scotch-Brite. It sanded so damn good. Our bezel here we've got setting up in just Krylon black. We're about to hit this with our satin nutmeg. Nutmeg. I don't know why that just cracked me up, but it made me shoot snot out my damn nose. I had a sample piece of our vinyl we're using around here. I was gonna compare the two and show you, but I guess I lost it. So we'll just spray away. Also, I rattle canned our little vents here black and then take them off. Now our cover is gonna cover a lot of this, but we're still hitting obviously all the bottom and then most of our edges. I think she's good, guys. We just gotta let it, it's gotta set up really good before we really handle it, obviously. And we're gonna scuff up our old plastic cover, and then we've gotta head up towards the city. Got important stuff. Now at the beginning of the video, I told you my family would gladly take some good prayers. If you don't do prayer, positive vibes. Good energy, thoughtful souls, whatever it may be that you do, we will take some too. Give us some of that do. But on a serious note, I got somewhere I have to be, so this is all we're getting done today. Well, don't let me lie to you. O'Reilly showed up with my 3rd gauge, and I did swap that in, so who knows, maybe she'll be good. Yeah, go. Guys, it is like 11 at damn night. We just got home. And I've got somewhere to be in the morning again. And I would like to get this panel glued on where the glue can really set up good. So I figured, well, we better get her on while we got a chance. She's the damned old rattle can wonder of the world. This stuff kind of stayed glossier than I was hoping. And the black is definitely too glossy. Them damn cinder blocks trap the heat, I tell you that much. I ain't got my eyeballs on, so I can't see diddly. It is still 100 degrees in here. As far as the glue goes, they sent this RTV silicone sealant adhesive Bondaflex. Hopefully it's good stuff. Basically the instructions said put it where you want it, clamp it the best you can, and she needs 4 hours to set up. Oh, we blew out the bottom. Woo! She's getting spicy. The fumes from this crap's burning my damn eyeballs. Since we used our spreader finger there, we're going to try to get these hands cleaned up. Then we're going to try to, well, we're going to work her in place. We're definitely going to make a mess. And we're going to figure out how to clamp her down, where we'll probably then scratch up our paint. We got that overlapping, so maybe if we put that there to protect our paint, and then kind of squeeze her into place there. Like I said, all this kind of pops into place pretty good, really. For the great Puddini's next act, we're gonna try a balancing trick here. I meant to do that. Durability test, I would say, is passed. I want to get a lot of weight to hold that top down. Now our front, I don't really have good ways of clamping that, guys. I kind of pushed it in the best I can. If it gets too floppy, I'm not saying I'll run a sheet metal screw in it and hit her with a little touch-up paint, but I've done more redneck stuff in my life, so don't test me. Now, will this be here in the morning when I come out here, or Or is it all gonna be on the ground? Time will tell. Early bird gets the worm. She did not fall down, did she? This is kind of like extreme Jenga because you're messing with your painted dash. Well, that's good. That did absolutely nothing. Besides, make sure our paper towel actually melted into our paint there. I think at least the top stuck down. Every morning you want to start with your essentials like hydration. Tape off our bezel real quick, and I'm gonna hit her with a little touch-up paint here or there. Got some good news this morning. The good news is, as you see maybe, we got some glass in this baby. She sure looks fancy. We got a back glass too. Mr. Gary from the 66 Auto Glass come and took care of that for us this morning. Would it be any easier for you if we got that truck a little lower?
Yeah. Could you get on the ground more, please?
Oh yeah, he was having a blast crawling in and out of this little thing. The bad news is, I really wanted to get this dash in there beforehand, and it's not. Before we slip that in, we got a couple things to do, like we ain't got a hood release yet. Our pedals kind of want to rub each other. And just checking stuff like our airline routing here. We may just try to relocate this sucker. I almost think we can mount her right there. Quick little drill and tap action. We get that valance on, she may be a little pain. Swoop her up through, see if we can get her locked back down. I'm really having to pull that to get her to her mounting hole. It don't leave much of a lip there. The cable's kind of out of her clamp there, so that explains that. That thing was holding on by hope and prayer. Let's try to reclamp here. Hey-yo, that's much better. Snug her down. Zip tie her out the way. Looks like she's working anyhow. Speaking of zip ties, get your zip ties and your heater hoses out. I may be out of chafe wrap. Well, that's okay, because you can buy this rubber chafe wrap by the foot. So we're gonna slice that. And the Bundle O airline here, there's a couple hard edges and a swinging pedal. So I'm gonna slap a piece of that on there. Couple zip and snips later, and it kind of curves up through there, comes out right there, and we ain't got no more rubbing. We don't know quite where we're gonna put these yet, but that's good enough for now. I reckon lastly, we need to get where we can reach our pedals. Yeah. Did move some. Oh. It didn't seem like much, but before my shoe was rubbing that, even when I was like that, so that right there should be good. The previous setup was good for burnouts, not so good for just stopping. That jog over rubs your foot. I think our best bet on this one's just to cut the damn thing. You definitely want to cut stuff with an angle grinder the day you get new glass in your rig. Kind of swoops this way and curves around. We're going to see if we can straighten it up at all. She's looking good. Got our swoop pretty straight. Now we're going to see if we can fix our angle on this with the old crescent trick. Special delivery. It's the Tamale Man. Oh, baby.
Chicken.
That's pollo, sir. Too redneck to say chicken in Spanish.
Polo.
Pollo. Pollo, like pull your damn britches up, Bill. They're sagging. Yeah. Oh, little more. One more little smoochy. Oh. Boy, if that would have slipped off there, I would have known it. I would have been back there laying across that damn crate motor. We're in Pot County. I'm in a bag motor. They come in bags here. Hell, just grab it at the blue light special at your local Kmart, you know. That thing's pretty straight, and that's looking good too. I think if we'll do a little beveling where you can position it and tack it and weld it. Kind of same thing. I know it don't look like much, but guys, that makes all the difference. Hell, we may be able to drive the damn thing. And I'm fixing to drive my happy butt into that house to eat me some of these damn tamales. Here at Dinner Up, Scratcher Up Interior, we're guaranteed to get you a dash you're half-ass happy with. Robin's racing. That don't look too bad in here. If only putting it in was that easy. There's a lot of crap to hook up too. We got some crap to do, like clean these up, and then where our lights go for our blinkers, I had to pop those out of there, so we need to drop them down in and get them glued back in. If you gotta do crap like that and you think like, oh man, that's kind of ghetto, there may be a better way. Guys, just do what you gotta do. It ain't like anyone can see up in there and see what you did, okay? If so, they got like x-ray vision, damn. Calm down out there, Superman. Got our little tester hooked up here. We're gonna test our lights. Oh, she's working. That one's good too. I need them lights, that speedo, and that fuel gauge to work. You flip this around, that right there is probably like a little voltage regulator, reducer, whatever. We probably have 12 volts coming in and then less going out. Some gauges don't require 12 volts, so that'll drop your voltage for you. Then for like our fuel gauge, that's gonna vary depending on how much ground we give it from the float in our tank. So we're gonna slap 12 volts on that. Now this tester, when you hook up your positive and your negative, depending on if you hit negative, that probes the ground. If you hit positive, now it's a hot 12. We can make that a negative, a ground. We can go around and hit these different pins. And when we touch the fuel gauge one, we should see it move. There's our oil light. There's our charge light. Very carefully, we're going to tighten that back down to our bezel. Clean this little piece. Slap it in. So this one's our gas gauge. Looks like this one's our dash lights. Hook them up, blinkers up, and our other dash lights up. We're going to whip up a little dash harness, which is quicker said than done. And someone may just cut off that connector and didn't mean to. But also somebody threw out our connection that would normally go here, but our little butt splices here, the blue one, seemed to slide on there pretty damn tight. As we go to flip that over, that right there is just absolutely perfect. That's what we want. I don't even care right now, guys. The next good news is, before we put that bezel on, we were supposed to put that on and bolt it from the front side. 1/4-20 nutcert tool just happens to fit in there. Gotta drill that out where the 1/4-20 bolt will be a through bolt now. And sometimes you just gotta be creative when you're forgetful. At least this way she's changeable from the back side. Slap the radio back in. Let's see if we can get her in that damned old truck. Get her speedo cable tightened on. Then we got her 5 or 6 wires to connect. Now she pretty well slid right into place. We're gonna put what we can on. Obviously our lighter here, I'd even run power to because I'm just not worried about it. All of our little buttons are ate up by a damn rat. Pop her there. If you didn't get that stuff clean enough, you know, just hit her with a tire foam and an old dirty brush. Could have definitely did this out there on the table. It's a little better than it was anyhow. See if we can get some of our paper towel off here. Little paper towel marks there. We may got a little scratch or two here or there. But overall, guys, that looks a hell of a lot better than what we had. Don't mind me, I'm just polishing my knob on YouTube. That did a pretty good job. Crap like that's what I've been doing here. Like our knob, our little rubber boot here. Every one of our little buttons or knobs I found better ones of. Went and scavenged some stuff off our parts trucks. I forgot to look for radio knobs, so we'll have to get them. Now our dash lights here, I told you I was gonna hook those up, and I actually did not. Long story short, it is impossible for those lights to be too bright, guys. I've never needed to dim my dash lights on something old. I know what we could hook that dimmer switch up to. So there she is, just swinging away. But what happens if we turn her down? Oh, I don't know. Let's find out. Now she's in slow motion. So we can speed her up if we want. And we can kind of slow her down, or we could really slow her down, or we could really just get her pumping again right there on the dash. Just a stroking. We still need to mount our gauges, and I need to find a good glove box. They're kind of hard to find. We may be able to make this old one work with the piano hinge, but if someone wanted to trade me, if you have a good one stockpiled somewhere and you'd like it to go on the Datsun King delivery rig, I will trade you the original Datsun King delivery rigs. I'll autograph that baby up and put some Datsun King delivery stickers with it, and we can do a little swap-a-rooey. Or you can tell me to piss off, and if I don't get one, we'll find a way to make that one work. I ain't scared. Hell, we've already made all this other crap work. We'll get her did. For this week, I've about wrapped up what I can wrap up in there. Now our temp gauge here, she's kind of temporarily mounted, and what I want to do, guys, is I want to drive this thing around, especially since we kind of tuned on her. I want to see if she's feeling frisky. I want to see if she'll shit and get. I want to see if she'll spin the tires, maybe start a fire. We do not want to start a fire. Before we drive it, I got 3 things I want to do. 1, we're going to hook up our power brakes. I finally got a check valve that fits in here. So we're going to pull that. Thread tape this. So there she is. Number 2, our little drain valve down here is leaking. And I seen these out the Harbor Freighter. So we're going to see if we can have any luck here. I never liked that other valve from the moment I met it, but also there's another reason to use this one, because we can 90 and we can actually put that right there, and we can still drain out of that. And if our compressors ever go down, if we can get to somewhere that has a regular old damn air line, boom, we can hook that on there, pressure up our tank, pick the truck up, close that back off, and maybe get our asses home. I'm gonna get all this tightened up here and kind of index her sideways where she don't hang as low. She's easy to get to, and maybe that one won't leak like this one was. I'm gonna get at least 3 lug nuts torqued pretty good on here. Guys, I don't know what the hell happened to all the lug nuts. First impressions so far, the brakes with the power whatever vacuum hooked up, guys, they feel soft, almost like there's air in the line. So maybe we need to bleed them puppies again. The pedals are much easier to work. We definitely did a good job there. And I'm just gonna kind of let her get up to temp some before I really kind of rip on her. Also, this thing definitely runs smoother. I'm gonna let a little air pressure out, see if we can't get her to ride smoother. Kind of circle her around right here, and I'm gonna actually give her a little bit of gas, maybe. Oh yeah, that's way better than last week. Woo! The brakes go soft, and after you pump them once, they're good. But then if you go, say, 30 seconds or so without pumping them again, they're soft the next time. As far as the power level with the motor, you're talking about a night and day difference here, guys. Hell, she might do a donut or two. She's got plenty of power, guys. She's getting bug nasty right now. Kind of running rough and whistling loud, and I can't imagine why. Oh yeah, she's running way more gooder there. I know y'all think I'm being hard on it, but my fabrication ain't gonna break, I guarantee you that. They recommend breaking in these motors by basically beating the piss out of them, so check. And then if anything is bad, if it can handle this rough terrain and ripping on it, guys, going up and down the regular old road ain't gonna be no problem for her. She's just a damned old dirt mover. Doing stuff like that, you discover that you may need to extend the bottom of your tubs. When I was kind of dumping the clutch and taking off some, we're getting some type of vibration. I don't know if it's exhaust, I don't know if it's the drive shaft, but we can probably look up underneath there now and tell what it was. The good news is it's running good. It did not get hot. Also, you find stuff like a oil leak from your gauges there. But overall, she was ripping a hell of a lot better than she was last week, I guarantee it. We're gonna kind of take her easy on the way back up, give her a little break. But man, it just feels so much better, guys. Another thing I can definitely tell you guys is she does need an alignment. She's running better. I think I'm still gonna mess with the timing probably one more time just for fun. But most importantly, we've got a really good jump start on our dash here. I'm really happy with how that turned out, guys. We're pretty much to the point where we need to button up those loose ends in there, get some fake patina on this baby, just finish, maybe pop a cap on, okay? she's just about ready to get on the road, which is pretty exciting, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. If you want to help support, just a couple of those shirts left, not many. We may have your size. We got other shirts. I think we're going to drop some new stuff maybe next week. We'll see. We appreciate all the support there. I'm on the Instagrammer, on the Patreon, and now I've got to get my stuff closed up where we can go to the city again. And like I said, I appreciate y'all, but I almost forgot, so you don't forget. Sitting on your ass won't finish your project.
Slow